Hello everyone, I am using a new setup for my recordings and some other things. If the audio quality is not as good as it was prior, please let me know and I'll do my best to correct it. I'm going to do a test run by talking about Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Uplay Plus. I'll start with Valhalla as I would imagine people are more interested in that. So, Valhalla is an interesting and beautiful game graphics wise, but it was quickly washed away by the game design, glitches, and bugs. I think the closest comparison is Witcher 3. In Witcher 3, you had the different schools which had their own armor and weapons for that particular school. These schools and, well, playstyle in general did reward you for doing it. So if you played Bear, you were a tank. If you were a Griffin, you had Sign Intensity, so you could use Signs more as a tool than anything else. Even in the highest difficulties, Bear could reasonably tank. Valhalla is the complete opposite. Valhalla doesn't really reward you for going a particular school other than just giving you a bunch of attack or damage, because even Bear in Valhalla could not tank at the highest difficulties. Valhalla made it too dodge based. You had to be very on top of your dodging and being very precise, which is hard to do when your enemy is allowed to spam their strong attacks. For most enemies, their strong attack was a charge or a sweep. It's insanely difficult to avoid that in closer quarters or other areas. That's kind of my other complaint with Valhalla, is that while enemy attacks were made aware to you, the problem is that they were allowed to do a 360. For example, if an enemy was supposed to do a charge attack with their power attack, it should end up at point A. But the problem is the game allows them to completely rotate from point A and do like a half circle from point A. If you're going to make a game where you make the enemy's attack known, then make sure it stays in that spot. The ability just to go somewhere and then completely do a 360 after the charge attack is just wrong. It's hard to explain, but I think you'll see what I mean if you play Valhalla. So yeah, Valhalla had a lot of issues, and I think Uplay Plus was its savior. The same thing happened with Watch Dogs Legion, in which Uplay Plus was its savior. So I want now to divert to that topic. I do think subscription services are a good idea. I can usually beat a game in 5 to 6 days if I'm in the right mindset and have the time to do it. Because of that, I don't want to pay $60 for a game that's going to not last me for very long. If I could pay $15 for that instead, I am much happier with that trade-off. Because at the end of the day, I'm not really concerned with owning the game. So if I can pay $15 just to play it real quickly, then uninstall it, great. I'm all for that. However, I do think that it has the potential to be abused, as I think we're seeing with Uplay Plus. By abused, I mean that game developers in recent years makes it feel like that they're really slacking on quality for games. There's a lot of examples I can use, like Skyrim and some others. I think Skyrim was saved by modders. The vanilla was not that great, but once you got modding involved, it became a better game. I think that Bethesda was hoping for that the modders would do the work for them rather than put the work in themselves. If that's the case, then that's truly horrible. Uplay Plus, or Ubisoft, I think was kind of doing something similar with Watch Dogs Legions and Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They knew they wouldn't be able to produce a game as good as prior, so they decided to make it a subscription thing for people to play and then be done with it. If that's true, then that's just a truly terrible practice, and I hope that others don't follow in that footstep. Though I guess I'm kind of expecting it at this point. You can't really stop game companies from doing terrible things. They just do it because they can. At the end of the day, people are going to play the game or buy it because, game, series, or brand loyalty. It's like what we see with computer building. I could keep rambling, but I think you get the gist of what I'm after. That's all I have to say. Thanks for listening.